Hello!
Hello? Who is it?
We are from the Manhattan District Attorney's Office. Whose castle is this?
This is the castle of Donald J. Trump. This is Castle Mar-a-Lago.
Go and tell your master that we have a warrant for his immediate arrest. He must ride with us to New York to be fingerprinted and charged. Well, I'll ask him, but I don't think he'll be too keen. He is, playing golf, you see. What? He said he's playing golf. Are you sure he's playing golf? Oh yes, quite sure, thank you. I told them he's playing golf. Well, can we come up and wait inside? No, of course not. You are New York types. If you do not open the gates, we shall take your castle by force. You don't frighten us, Manhattan pig dogs. Go and boil your bottom, the son of a silly person. I'll blow my nose at you, so-called district attorney. If you do not agree to my commands, then I shall take... Jesus Christ!
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and if you watched the headline late yesterday, you saw that Donald Trump was indicted on 34 counts of absolute baloney sausage. But what you may not know is what this actually means. Is he actually going to go to prison? The answer is, of course, no. And what this means for the greater picture of our justice system. I think I talked at length yesterday about just how embarrassing our justice system was when dealing with the people who were going on a guided tour of the Capitol in comparison to what they were doing with the very same people who were doing the very same thing, only far more out of control in some cases yesterday and the day before, where it was catch and release at the Capitol because it was politically charged. Well, they felt like they could put these people in the federal prison for years and years and years and win votes, which was disgusting. It still is. And now we have yet another example of that, and we have Trump getting 34 charges. So what does it actually mean? Well, it basically amounts to a low-level felony, as if convicted, by the way. And, the fallout has been wild. So 34 counts of business fraud after New York City indictment. Donald Trump was shocked when he learned Thursday that a Manhattan grand jury voted to indict him. According to his attorney, who revealed the former president will face 34 counts when he's arraigned next week. His lawyer told Sean Hannity that he talked to Trump after the indictment came down, saying they both learned about it through the media and not Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg's office, because that's what this is all about. He said he's ready to fight, he's the toughest guy I know. He was shocked, because we really weren't. I was shocked. The lawyer said of Trump's reaction. I've never been more angry about a charge because today the rule of law in the United States of America is dead or died. It's dead. The lawyer added that he believes the reports that Trump will be charged with over 30 counts of business fraud. We now heard 34 counts, and I guarantee you it's going to be 34. We'll find out next week, he said. We'll take each check and make that count. Perhaps that's what they'll do because the checks are paid to Cohen, he explained. The lawyer added that Trump's expected Tuesday arraignment has not been finalized. This is all just a giant dog and pony show. Even DeSantis makes a comment about it in a very DeSantis way, but check this out. So if you'll note, he curiously does not mention Donald Trump's name, but he writes, the weaponization of our legal system to advance a political agenda turns the rule of law on its head. It's un-American. The Soros-backed Manhattan District Attorney has constantly bent the law to downgrade felonies and excuse criminal misconduct, yet now he's stretching the law to target a political opponent. Florida will not assist an extradition request given the questionable circumstances at issue with the Soros-backed Manhattan prosecutor and his political agenda. I mean, I think that's pretty good. I mean, yes, he didn't say Trump, but, after all, he is still running against him. Now, what does it actually mean? Well, the charges relate to an alleged cover-up over hush money paid to Stormy Daniels. Daniels claims that she hooked up with Trump in 2006, then accepted $130K from his former lawyer weeks before the 2016 presidential election in exchange for her silence on the counter, which I guess was not a good investment. Full details about the charges brought by the grand jury are not yet known, and there are few legal precedents for this situation, but the indictment or even conviction is unlikely to legally prevent Trump from running for presidency. That's part of what they wanted to do here. They wanted to stop him from running for president. I've never been more galvanized in my opinion on Trump. I've never been more open to letting him win my vote back, I'll say. I voted for him twice, right? 16 and 2020. And I feel like he's wavered a little bit in some of the people that he hired and never got rid of. And I've talked at length about, how he abandoned Section 230, all these type of things. He wasn't more vocal about the people who were locked up for J6. But I'm open to it now because this is insanity. Many complex legal issues could arise if Trump won the presidency race after a criminal conviction, though. It's unclear if another White House run would be politically viable in those circumstances. Now, the timeline of it, I don't really care about. He banged some whore, whatever. Okay, this is why you don't screw crazy, right? I mean, this is exactly why you don't do that. So whether he or not he paid the money, I actually don't care, and America doesn't care. Just like nobody in America cared about Monica Lewinsky. Nobody did. The media pretended like it was the biggest deal ever. Like not every president in history wasn't banging people who, brought in there. I mean, JFK was celebrated. I mean, all these, it's ridiculous. I don't care who they bang. Just protect my country and keep my investments going up. So, I mean, it's, he's not going to face prison time. So what's involved in an indictment is simply a formal accusation. That's all it is. And the individual has committed a serious crime if it details the charges that person faces. Now, what does it actually mean? Donald Trump is now the first former U.S. president to face criminal charges following the Manhattan grand jury indictment. Trump, who served just one term as president, just one term. You can only serve a maximum of 2. Okay. Could be facing 30 counts of fraud. Trump's lawyers said he will travel to Manhattan to be arraigned, but of course, the indictment or even a conviction is not expected to legally prevent Trump from running for the Republican nomination for a second term as president. There would be complex legal issues that may arise, however, if he were to win the election. Political experts say that the legal charges will only galvanize his core supporters, which it has. The indictment will mean little to many that support him, and Trump has already said he's completely innocent, dismissing the accusations as politically motivated. At this point, even if he's convicted, I don't think it's going to change a lot of people's opinions of him. If you're on the left, if you have TDS, you actually think he's going to prison, you actually think you really got him, all this kind of stuff. It's just an indictment. He's not been convicted of anything. And then you get vodka knockers Nancy Pelosi weighing in and getting absolutely humiliated. Former White House Speaker Nancy insider trading Pelosi was ridiculed on Twitter Thursday over reaction to an indictment of former President Trump as she appeared to butcher a key principle of criminal law. The grand jury has acted upon the facts and the law, Pelosi wrote in her post. No one is above the law and everyone has the right to a trial to prove innocence. No, you're innocent until proven guilty, you absolute lunatic. She added, hopefully the former president will peacefully respect the system which grants him that right. Her failure to recognize that Trump is granted the presumption of innocence, one of the most basic requirements of a fair trial and an internationally recognized human right by the United Nations, sparked criticism on the social media platform. We don't have to prove our innocence in America, Miss Pelosi, Harmeet Dillon, a former Trump campaign legal advisor, gently reminded the California Democrat. In a much more forceful reaction, conservative radio talk show host Mark Levin derided Pelosi as a moron and a Stalinist over her post. Stalinist Pelosi, prove innocence? It's innocent until proven guilty, moron, or at least it used to be. Josh Hawley echoed Levin, tweeting, the right to prove innocence? This is America, not Russia. I mean, that's what's even great about the Pelosi reaction too is, oh, look at baby Ruby. Oh, okay. She got fact checked. So this tweet gets 26,000 likes. But getting crushed. Like here's redheaded libertarian saying, granted right, prove your innocence. This is the most anti-American vomit that has ever exuded your commie mouth. Tim Young, your insider trading has been above the law for your entire career. Sit down. Yeah, that was in a successful ratio. Madam Secretary, this isn't true. Presidents are not bound by the law. Oh, yeah, 3-year Letterman, always in there. Actually, everyone has the right to a trial to be proven guilty. As a lawmaker, you're supposed to know the difference in this country. I mean, everybody just absolutely, here's Chris Manning. So now trials are about proving your innocence? Silly me. I guess I thought they were for the government to try and prove your guilt. I mean, the fact check coming in saying, Miss Pelosi mistakenly said that Trump can prove his innocence at trial. Law in the United States assumes the innocence of the defendant, and the prosecution must prove guilt for a conviction. But of course, she got destroyed. 43,000 replies. Today is the day that Trump really has to come back to Twitter. He really does. He's got to come back to Twitter because he's got to get, now's the time. Now is the time to galvanize your base. Now is the time to try to start making amends and really start pushing for presidency. You've never had more headlines than today. Make that tweet, Mr. President. I think that's what you have to do. You have to keep, the pressure up. I also firmly believe that this is, of course, very politically motivated. It's a disgrace to this country. It's a disgrace to, the rule of law and the sanctity of our courts. And this is nuts. It's like how do you feel about this? Like, as an American citizen, I'm sitting here saying, like, I talked about this last night on my show with Sydney Watson over at Community Notes. Like, everyone was making jokes about the rioters the last 2 days in Kentucky and Nashville. And it's like, yeah, and they're like, oh yeah, lock them up. That's the precedent. It's like, I know it's funny to point out the hypocrisy, but all that really does is remind me that, dozens of Americans were locked away in federal prison. Some, I think, haven't even been tried yet. I might be wrong about that. I think there's at least one that hasn't been tried, or somebody sat in prison for 800 and something days, still hasn't been. So, like, that's kind of North Korea-esque stuff. And that's exactly what's happening to Donald Trump. I mean, look at the crime in New York. Okay, let's just break it down that way. People are getting offed in the street at record levels there. Do you think anyone cares if Donald Trump paid some working girl 120 grand to shut up? I mean, nobody actually cares about this. This is what, I mean, it's like when the left pushed the J6 stuff and tried to make that a thing, no one cared. Now that no one's going to care about this. Back when the right tried to make a big deal about Bill Clinton and his cigar, no one cared about that. These politicians have no idea what regular Americans are struggling with day to day. Maybe they should be talking about inflation and pissing away our money in Ukraine, not protecting, having armed guards for our money, but not our students. Maybe these things would be worth it, but no, it's never. This is why the two-party system, for all its benefits, we really just have a uniparty of morons. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I want to mention, if you made it all the way to the end, Coffee Brand Coffee, my company, we just launched 2 new cold brews. We already had the Colombian, which was one of our top sellers of all of our products on the website. So we also turned our dark roast and our Ethiopian light roast into these pre-packaged bags. You just put in a water jug, put it in your fridge overnight, and bam, the next day you have delicious cold brew coffee that you can add whatever you want to. I'm going to leave a link to that and the promo code TheQuartering to save. I think you'll really love these. Again, the Colombian is a hot seller for us. So now you get a dark and a light that I think will all work delicious as cold brews. So support the channel by grabbing some coffee today, promo code TheQuartering. Obviously, we have many other products that aren't just cold brew, but just wanted to let you know this one came out. And we'll talk to you again real soon.